Hey everybody, my name is Paul Leston Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Boy Green25, baby. And we got new news to discuss. Apparently, the New York Jets are trying to retain their own, as head coach Robert Saleh said virtually at the NFL Combine. It's the equivalent of let's run it back, baby. Let's run it back. The Jets, of course, had a top 5 defense last year, and in Robert Saleh's estimation, he'd like to bring as many of the pending free agents on the defensive side of the ball back, and they will be quote unquote judicious on the offensive side of the ball. Let's go there on defense, and that is linebacker Quincy Williams. There is a double report here, one from ESPN's Rich Cimini, who said, quote, the team is negotiating with Williams to keep him off the market. They'd like to get that done before everything gets underway. Again, we are recording this mini show here on Sunday, March 12th. Monday, March 13th, the legal tampering period opens at noon, which means starting at noon, Quincy Williams and his representation will be allowed to speak to the rest of the league to discuss parameters, contracts, and things of that nature. Free agency actually gets underway on Wednesday, March 15th at 4 o'clock. That's when the deals will be announced. It's kind of the wink, wink. Some of this legal tampering has already been happening behind the scenes, illegal tampering perhaps. But the NFL kind of turns it doesn't really bat an eye at it. Here's another one. Dan Graziano of ESPN also dropped this saying, quote, don't be surprised, and this is from this morning, if the Jets try to keep him, Quincy Williams, from hitting the market. They want to, quote, keep the brothers together. Quincy Williams. Now, Quincy Williams is a polarizing name among Jet fans because half of them don't really appreciate him. They think he's kind of this raw prospect that can, lay the lumber, have some big hits, but they think he's an incomplete player. Then the other half absolutely love him. I'm leaning towards the love. I'm going to be honest. I think he brings an infectious energy to his teammates when he makes those hits and has the awesome celebration. I think that obviously razzes up his teammates and the fans in the audience. And while I don't think he's a perfect linebacker by any means, I think he's done a really good job of improving. I mean, what a find by general manager Joe Douglas off the waiver wire, off the Jacksonville Jaguars scrap heap, and he comes in and he's doing phenomenal. So I really like Quincy Williams a lot. And here are the latest. What are we talking about for a player? Quincy Williams is 26 years of age. He'll turn 27 before the start of the 2023 season. Zach Rosenblatt, about a month and change ago, said he's expected to have a, quote, robust market out there. And here is one of the nuggets that Rosenblatt brought up. The top 15 highest paid linebackers in football all make at least $9 million per season. 3 others make, quote, at least $7 million per season. And he openly questions if that will be too rich for the Jets' blood. So it seems like he's going to be somewhere in that range. I've heard in between 6 and 9 million per year. That has been some of the numbers that have been thrown out to me on the expected market for Quincy Williams from having some conversations with a variety of different people, both on our shows and behind the scenes. Are we willing to get into that category? He is a very talented player. There's no question about it. And of course, the underlying factor in all of this is if you bring back Quincy Williams, or at the very least, doing what the Jets are doing right now and being aggressive and looking like you're trying to bring him back, that can only help your negotiations with Quinton Williams, of course, who is due to receive what will ultimately be the biggest and richest contract in Jets franchise history this offseason at some point. So again, bringing Quincy back or aggressively trying to is only going to help your case, certainly with Quinton Williams. Now, here's the thing. I'd love Quincy back. I think he's a talented player. The Jets got to do something at linebacker. The only guy they have coming back is C.J. Mosley among the starters. Quan's set to be a free agent. Quincy is set to be a free agent. Quan's an older player, not incredibly older, but he's an older player, and he's coming off a great year. It's the first time he's been healthy since believe it was 2016 or 2017 with Tampa when he had a fully healthy season. Now, I'm sure Robert Saleh likes him, but he liked him better at that veteran minimum price that he got right around training camp. This time around, Quan's going to be a lot more expensive. So probably betting on the younger guy, and like I said, the Quincy connection certainly helped with Quincy. I will also say this. The other player the Jets have been flirting very openly with is Buffalo Bills linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, and he's a freak. He's been called an alien, a predator. Robert Saleh loves him. Robert Saleh has cut his teeth as a linebacker whisperer. He loves linebackers, and potentially to get his hands on a guy like Tremaine Edmonds, who's 6'5", 250 pounds, and of course, you get to dupe a rival and take one of their best premier players, a multi-time Pro Bowler, and bring him over here to the Jets. That could be great in the grand scheme of things. And like I said, he's drooled over him before. The problem with Tremaine Edmonds is he is going to be expensive. I've heard some folks say some of the ballpark are 13, 14, 15 million per season, which we're getting into funky, crazy money potentially on the open market. And quite frankly, the entire linebacker market in general in free agency is fantastic, spectacular. So maybe because of that, the Jets go cheaper at the position, whether it's Quincy or a scheme guy from the 49ers past or something of that nature. Because again, bringing in a big time quarterback, hopefully we have news on that soon, but bringing in a big time quarterback, spending a bunch of money there can potentially cause you to use less resources on other positions because you got to spread the wealth from a pie perspective. So again, the Jets are trying to get Quincy locked up before he reaches the open market, because then once you reach the open market, things could get pretty crazy pretty quickly, as we've seen with other Jets free agents in the past. But also, the Jets aren't putting all their eggs in the Quincy basket. Again, as I've mentioned, the Oakland flirtations. Rich Cimini has mentioned the Jets' interest in Tremaine Edmonds. Zach Rosenblatt has mentioned the interest in Tremaine Edmonds. So that could be a guy that if it does not work out with Quincy, they pivot to a guy like Tremaine Edmonds. So for a year, you've got this nice tandem of Tremaine Edmonds and CJ Mosley. And then if the Jets choose to move on maybe next year, all of a sudden Tremaine Edmonds takes over as the main guy. Again, I know Robert Saleh loves him. I know that 1,000%. What he may not love is all the money that a guy like Tremaine Edmonds could command. The thing is, he's incredibly young. When he was drafted, he was 19 years old. So he's only 24. So he's a young guy. Those are the kind of guys Jets love to pay if they're going to pay guys going into their second contract. So if they're going to get crazy, this could be a position where they choose to get crazy. And man, if you add a Tremaine Edmonds to what was already a top 5 defense, whoo-wee, things can get sexy. Things could get spicy. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. Everybody, thanks for joining us for a quick vid here, giving you some free agency stuff. We got to start getting into it. I know we haven't got into it in full bore yet because, of course, the quarterback situation. And seemingly once we figure that out, we could turn the page. Well, we're not going to have any time to really process. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers comes, and when he comes, we'll be celebrating and going crazy. But we will have minimal time to think because immediately legal tampering period. So things are going to start leaking as early as tomorrow. And then we have free agency. And then, oh, wait, the friggin' draft is coming up. So things are bubbling here at the surface, guys, and things are about to be pedal to the metal for the rest of the way. Make sure you like the video, hit subscribe down below for more fantastic Jets content. And like I said, we're getting closer and closer, baby, to 4,000 subscribers, and we appreciate all your guys' support. For a little old Jets YouTuber, a little old Jets content creator, we appreciate you guys, and you guys are like family. So thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you next time. What do you guys think? Jump into the comments below. Do you want Quincy? Do you not want Quincy? Do you want Tremaine Edmonds? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll get back to you. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Wink.